Hi, Don here. I am going to share with you some of my favorite tips I wish I had known when I started with Athena. I've had Athena for a number of years, and here are my best tips. They're kind of, I don't know, they don't really teach these things, so these are things that can really help your practice. Number one is called the 1 year recall. I got this idea from a eyeglass place that used to like send me all these recall letters, and I'm like, how do they do that? And I couldn't figure it out. So I want to teach you how to make it. So with Athena, you would go into the campaign builder. And so right here, you would build your campaign. I called it 1 year. I filtered by clinicals, and I put in for the filters the patients when they were seen and if they had another follow-up appointment. So if they had a follow-up appointment or did not have a follow-up appointment, if it's been over 1 year, okay, and it's going to send out a message. So it'll send out this message, dear patient, it's time for your annual visit. If you're having foot problems, it's been a year since we've seen you, please schedule an appointment. It also sends out a text if they have one. Central Mass, it's time for your annual visit. If you're having foot problems, please schedule an appointment. So this is a workhorse for us. You can see each day it goes out, and here the next one is going to be going out. There's 51 people that are going to be getting it, and it goes out Monday through Sunday from 10 to 8 p.m. These calls, and it just kind of goes through and does it every day. We have a same one which is done for 2 years. It's the same thing, but for people that haven't been seen in 2 years and they don't have an appointment, here it sends out 20. So this works every single day for us, getting people to kind of call the office for follow-ups automatically through Athena. So it's a really good benefit to Athena. I'm not sure if you guys knew about that. A couple of other things I want to talk about is how to generate reports and using them for marketing purposes. So the first one here is my charges. So if you want to learn kind of what are the most profitable things for your practice, this is how you make this. You go into create a report and you choose these ones. The way you find them is you write out the name here. So you're going to do supervising provider, patient name, patient ID, claim number, insurance, sum of all charges, and sum of all adjustments, and average payment. So it'll kind of show you what the average payment is and kind of how much you're earning. And then you choose the filter. So I chose me. And then you can also choose what is the time frame. So this time frame would be like the previous week. Okay, you could do the previous week, you could do the previous year. This is one that if you want to know kind of how much is produced, you need to do the previous year. Okay, for myself, and then you can generate a report, and you can schedule these reports. And so what it does is it'll have the patients and kind of how much was produced with each patient. And so you can then go ahead and download these patient things. Okay, so that's another report that you can do to figure out kind of what's produced. Another report here is a referring provider report. This is a report that you can do, and it's actually part of Athena, so you don't have to create it. It's already part of the report system, and you pick in like the previous year. I do comma delineated because then you can open it up in Excel, and it downloads a report, and you can kind of see how many patients were referred and what was produced. So let me just show you. Here's an example for us. It has the provider patients here, um, the doctor's names, and how much we produce. So this doctor in the last year, 231 patients, $94,000. So this is another important report for us to have in our practice, and that's how you do it. It's a provider's report. Another report that's important are new patients last 3 months for email. So this is how I do this, because I have to take the actual emails that we capture and put them into my marketing system, which I use Kajabi. So I have to copy and paste them. So I get the patient's first name and patient's email, and I pull that out every 3 months and I push it over. So it creates the same type of report in Excel, and it does that for me. Another report that I have here are patients that are seen. So you can pick specific diagnoses. So I have diabetes and ulcers as examples. So you go through, you do patient's ID, name, date last seen, phone numbers, email, and whether they're deceased. And then what you do is you choose the filters, and I choose diabetes filters in their claim, and I pick a time frame. So this goes anywhere from a year ago to 3 years ago. And so it'll make a report on these patients. And then what I use these reports for is then I have my staff call these patients to see if they want to follow up for a diabetic foot exam or see how their ulcer is doing. So that's for diabetic feet. This one here is for ulcers. So whatever codes you want to pick, you can pick. You can do it for plantar fasciitis. So within there was a good lecture by at AAPPM where it talked about this, where you take each month you have a category and you pick the patient. So there was about 230 patients for diabetes and about 120 for ulcers. And by the way, a lot of them were dead. But then you take them and you call them. So you give it to a staff and they'll call them and then they'll mark who's deceased and things like that. And then that's a way of following up with these patients. My staff just does it like a couple days a month and gets all these patients, and it might be 4 or 5 appointments that would have been otherwise lost. So that's how you do it for ulcers. And the last thing, I showed this on a recent video, but I just want to explain, a lot of people don't know about this. Within performance reviews, so you go to performance reviews. So if you want to find this, you go to clinicals, and then up top, you pick performance reviews. And we look at this every month with our office. So, and then you kind of look at like the performance reviews for the office. Okay, so you can kind of look at the performance reviews for central mass podiatry for the previous year and stuff like that. Okay, so here are the performance reviews. You can look at it individual providers, or you can do it based on the practice itself. I'm going to show you my individual one. So it kind of shows how much were payments for previous months. Okay, payments right here. It shows my most common codes, how many orthotics I did, EPAT, and things like that. So it's a very important one to do when you look and kind of compare from doctor to doctor. Anyway, these are my best tips. If you want all of my EMR tips, you can go to podiatrypracticemastery.com/EMR, capital EMR, and there are all those resources there. If you like this, kind of let me know. If you have any questions, you can email me, Don at Podiatry Practice Mastery.